This is the Throttle Out Show presented by Vixen Industries, the only show where monster truck drivers and mechanics come together to present what's happening in the monster truck community. It's the ultimate combination of torque, horsepower, and trash talk. And now for your hosts. First, straight out of the heart of Detroit Rock City, it's Kid Rock's neighbor and former driver of the BKT ride truck. It's Austin Spence. And the duo deep in the heart of Texas, it's the show owner and daughter of a man who conquered the industry for over 20 years. It's Harley Johnson, along with everyone's favorite Bryce Kenny lookalike, Austin Tweedy. So go ahead, fuel up, strap in, and remember, when in doubt, throttle out.
Well, good evening, everybody, from the studio here in Rockwall, Texas. It is a humid one today. No lie out there. We want to thank you for tuning in. We also want to thank Scott Douglas for that awesome intro. Go to Scott Douglas Media to see what that guy can do for you. Harley, what's Vixen Industries got going on?
Vixen Industries has a lot of new stuff on their website. We got new tumblers, new beach towels, plenty of summer clothes. I got on my Vixen Industries tank top right now. Go check it out.
Thank you for Vixen Industries for being a partner of the Throttle Out Show. And Austin, how you doing tonight, my man? We have got a jam-packed episode because a lot has happened in the monster truck community, hasn't it, my friend?
Oh my gosh, dude. It's been just nonstop. I mean, the guys we just did a retake back on Sunday on everything that happened in Atlanta. Super awesome, packed full weekend of nonstop action, but it just doesn't stop, man. It just goes and goes and goes. Real quick, before we start the episode, I just want to put a big congratulations out there to Ryan Albin and Taylor Andes on the OCD Meltdown limited truck that you could find on the Monster Jam Superstore. Those guys have been working on that truck for a while. I finally just got mine in. I'd show you guys, but the green screen does not do it justice. You cannot even see the truck. But yeah, there's still a few copies left. So please, if you can, support those guys. Go to Monster Jam Superstore and get yours today.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, let's get down to let's get the cat right out of the bag, right out of the gate. We have got a new possible sponsorship between Lucas Oil and the Dallas Cowboys. Are you kidding me? I was not ready for that. But if you go straight to Lucas Oil's Instagram, it's official. It's true. Right off of their page, Lucas Oil has partnered with the Dallas Cowboys. Austin, why is this important to the monster truck industry?
Okay. This is kind of, so if I remember correctly, Tweety, literally every product we had to put any kind of fluid into those trucks was a Lucas Oil product, whether we're talking about transmission fluid, engine oil, gear oil, everything we used in those trucks was Lucas Oil products. And here's my thing with Lucas Oil wanting to go and sponsor the Dallas Cowboys. So does that mean if hell freezes over and Dallas actually wins a Super Bowl, does that mean that the entire team's going to get dumped on motor oil instead of Gatorade?
I don't know what it means. I mean, we can only speculate on what's going on because I could not find anywhere the contract situation of what's going on with Lucas Oil and the Dallas Cowboys. What are they actually doing for them? I mean, we could sit here and speculate all we want and say, okay, Lucas Oil is completely rebranding. They're going a completely different direction. They are trying to restructure the entire way that they work their business, and they're targeting the oil field. Well, why not come to Texas where the oil rigs are very popular, business is booming, and you target somebody like Jerry Jones, who's got some of the deepest pockets and all of Texas. Maybe Jerry Jones has some equity in Lucas Oil now, and Jerry Jones can take Lucas Oil to places that they haven't been before. Rumor also has it that Lucas Oil is dropping out of the off-road racing industry. Matter of fact, I think they already have, Austin.
They have. I actually have the official listing up here on Lucas Oil's off-road website. You guys could check it out yourself. But this was on November 12th of 2020. And it says here, and I quote, after consideration, discussion with Lucas Oil Products has made the difficult decision to discontinue its ownership and operation of the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series. Since 2009, the series has served as a preeminent platform for this exciting motorsport discipline and has been widely recognized as the world's premier short course off-road racing championship series for more than a decade. The announcement has also included the discontinuation of the Lucas Oil Regional Off-Road Racing Series.
Shoot. I mean, that is huge. Wow. So you think the way a sports team operates, okay, similar to the Dallas Cowboys, whenever teams aren't doing good, say they go in a drought for 5 to 10 years and they completely restructure their team, right? They start with management. They start at the office and they start letting people go. Their general manager, their strength coaches, all their coaching staff, and they completely rebuild that son of a gun. So maybe that's what Lucas Oil is doing with their company. They were possibly taking a loss throughout the last few years. We kind of expected the end of Lucas Oil Crusader was going to be sooner rather than later. While we were there, we heard that when we worked there. Obviously, it's happened now, but Lucas Oil is on the move. They're going to a completely different industry right now. I think it should be very interesting to see what they're going to do with the Dallas Cowboys. Thoughts?
So kind of going back on what you were saying that, Lucas Oil is going to Texas and that's where the oil field is. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I see Mr. England is in the chat, but isn't Texas the truck capital of the world?
Word.
Yeah.
So exactly. So considering, and I have the stats up right here, Lucas Oil Crusader debuted in Houston, Texas in 2011, January 8th. And this year, it would have been its 10-year anniversary. But unfortunately, and Lindsey Wink has confirmed this, and this is on his page from back in December, New Year's Eve of 2020, saying, greetings all, hoping everyone had a great holiday. Just to update everyone, Lucas Oil Crusader will not be competing in 2021. Thanks to Lucas Oil for being a great partner of Monster Jam. I enjoyed every year since they started with the sport and myself in 2011. I wish nothing but the best for them. As for myself, my driving days are not over, and I look forward to the day that I get to come back behind the wheel again.
So he's not done driving.
No, Lindsey Wink is not done, but we kind of feel bad for our Canadian drivers. You know, you got Lindsey Wink and you got Cynthia Gottier, and they can't come compete in Monster Jam because of some kind of government regulations when it comes to traveling.
Yeah.
Good point.
But still, having a big sponsor like Lucas Oil just drop, I mean, you know, that was such a huge deal with Monster Jam, and it's been a very stout truck. It even had a really good following and a hell of a driver, and then suddenly just can't be a part of it anymore.
What you look for when a big corporate sponsor like Lucas Oil drops out of Monster Jam, you're going to wonder, okay, well, who's going to fill their shoes? Are they going to get a new oil sponsor? Because as crucial as oil is to that industry, not just motor oil, but we know transmission, fluid, gear oil goes a long ways when you have 100 trucks, you know, in your fleet, and not to mention all the other products that they have. So, I mean, who do they go with? Do they go back to using, what was it, Brad Penn they used to have as a sponsor back in the day? Do they try to hit up AMSOIL, or are they going for the new oil sponsorship? I don't know, but you do notice, okay, you mentioned they've already dropped out of off-road series, and they've dropped places like Bigfoot. Bigfoot's not in the Lucas Oil spotlight anymore as they used to be. I see that they still sponsor, I believe, the Garner Camp, the Team Overboard, and I think they still have somewhat of a partnership with Team Scream. But
right.
You're going to say something. Go ahead.
I do believe that kind of sponsorship is more relevant to, they don't really get any kind of money per se. They just kind of get products just for supporting the brand, rather than just having a big chunk of change. Like, hey, you have our name plastered on the side of your truck. Here's $1,000 to, you know, run that. I mean, there are other monster trucks in the independent side that are actually sponsored by, you know, oil products. One being actually the Venom Camp by Nitro Lubricants. Their main market, other than, you know, high performance, seems to be like motocross and the other type of, you know, smaller ride-on motorsports. But even still, like what we were talking about, you know, this kind of opens up a huge door for another oil industry to come in and sponsor Monster Jam. You know, could it be Pennzoil? Could it be Mobil? Could it be, you know, really anyone to step up and, you know, take Lucas's place?
So before we move into our next topic, and like we said, Lucas Oil is moving on. We look forward to see what they're going to be able to do for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see. I think it's kind of a weird partnership, but they know what's best for them. So we'll see. But before we go moving on, let's talk about some people who are watching with us tonight. Mr. BJ Johnson wants to know whose dog is barking.
Not my dog. Not our dog.
It really ain't. I think it's somebody
up there in
Michigan.
From Michigan, one of those dogs.
I'm sorry. We have 3 dogs running around here in the small house, so I could have swore I put up enough stuff to where you wouldn't hear that, but my apologies.
We got Ty England watching for the first time. What's up, man? Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be talking about you in a little bit, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be running your name. Well, I won't say into the ground, but
no,
we're going to be talking up here in a little bit. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know where you're going either.
I'm just excited. We're live on the air.
Well, speaking of Ty England, let's just go ahead and talk about him, right?
Yeah, I guess we can do that.
So Mr. Tristan England is officially coming back to Monster Jam this coming weekend. But he won't be driving Earthshaker. He's going to be driving Megalodon. And I'm sure we're not the only ones confused why he's not in Earthshaker. Why is he going in Megalodon? But I'm sure that has to deal with the whole sponsorship deal. And maybe he's just filling in for Adam that couldn't drive that weekend. I don't know.
I mean, it could also possibly be that Megalodon has exceeded merchandise sales with El Toro, who just ran Monster Jam for a very long time. And now Megalodon is taking that spot. I mean, I love Megalodon. Obviously, I love El Toro, but Megalodon's such a cool looking truck. You had the shark thing going with Discovery for a while, and it really benefited Monster Jam in a big way.
Earthshaker instead of El Toro?
No, because I was talking about how popular El Toro was there for a long time. El Toro just kind of ran the show, and then Megalodon took the place of El Toro, is what I mean by that. Tristan England's going to be behind the wheel of Megalodon. It's very weird to see. But it also kind of leads us into our next topic of discussion, which is this. We're going to be seeing the return of Bree Mahone, and she will be debuting at what show? Greenville? Is that right?
Yep.
I believe so. Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville,
in an arena show.
Back in arenas.
She hasn't been there in a while. She's been tearing up the stadium floors, but people are excited to see Bree Mahone back. People are wondering why she hasn't been driving already. A lot of people have been questioning that. But she's also going to be back in Scooby-Doo, not in Whiplash. Thoughts on that, y'all?
Yeah, it says here, she made her debut back in 2015. So I mean, she's been broken in. She's not just a rookie driver anymore. She debuted back in 2015 along with Bailey Shea, as addition to the team Scooby-Doo. She served as an alternate for the More Monster Jam tour, if you remember that way back when. Breonna was later invited to the same year's Young Gun, sorry, I said the G word, shootout, this time driving Medusa to fill in for Miss Medusa herself. And she proceeded to drive for Scooby-Doo up until 2018, where it was debuted, I believe, at Monster Jam Stadium Tour 1 in Whiplash. So, I mean, glad that she's coming back to the seat. I think Whiplash would be a lot easier for the mechanics to kind of put back together than Scooby. But hey, it's one of those things where, sponsorship, merchandise, and all that, and Scooby sells. So I look forward to seeing how she does.
Now, I wanted to bring that up. Do you really think Scooby sells? Because I don't know. I'm just saying, kids nowadays don't really know who Scooby-Doo is.
I think kids probably don't know what Scooby-Doo is, but they just see, a dog on wheels and they love it. I think that's all it is.
I think Monster Mutt is better for merchandise and Monster Jam than Scooby-Doo, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I mean, where do people even watch Scooby-Doo anymore? I mean, you can find anything Disney on Disney Plus. Monster Mutt has run the show for a long time. I don't know why they would veer away from that, but I don't know. You're telling me putting Bree back in Whiplash to me would make more sense, but you also want to run Scooby-Doo. I don't know. Is there some kind of partnership there with Bravo or whoever owns Scooby-Doo?
I think it's Warner Brothers that I believe owns it. So I think it's not that they reach out to, and I think it's the same thing with the whole DC and Marvel situation when Monster Jam used to run those trucks, is they pay Marvel or DC or whoever to run the licensing for those trucks in order to run it. And there's like some kind of a split percentage. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't really know, but it's poor Todd putting his thoughts down there in the comments. Not a fan of Scooby-Doo at all. But yeah, it's just one of those things that, it just brings kids in. Now, to me, I would rather see a Mystery Machine monster truck. I would rather see someone take that cartoon van and place it on a monster truck chassis, kind of like what they did with the diecast and the Hot Wheels and stuff, or not the Hot Wheels, sorry, Spin Masters, and actually do something like that to add to Team Scooby rather than just having the dog itself.
I agree. I'd love to see, the Mystery Machine on wheels on big tires.
No, that should have happened a long time ago. But I think the whole point that Monster Jam fans are trying to say altogether, and if anybody from Monster Jam headquarters just happens to be watching the Throttle Out show tonight, everyone is screaming, put the drivers back in the normal trucks. Take Adam out of Megalodon, put him back in Gravedigger. Take Ryan, put him back in Son of a Dicker. Put Bree in Whiplash. Put Ty England back in Earthshaker. Everybody loves that truck. Stop doing the weird stuff and get back to doing Monster Jam stuff.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. No, don't get me wrong. we know Ty England has like a background in like construction or stuff, and Earthshaker's a good fit. I wouldn't be surprised once everything gets back to normal if we see Ty eventually jump into El Toro. I think El Toro Loco, being from Texas, would be a good fit for Ty.
It should. No, that should happen. No, I like that. If they don't want to bring
I like that
Earthshaker
idea.
back, put him in El Toro. El Toro needs to make its appearance back on the circuit.
Yeah, we
anyways.
also haven't seen El Toro at all this year.
Not in 2021. We haven't. Nope.
Need to bring it back, man. Need to bring it back. And speaking of putting people back in their trucks, I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of weird seeing Gravedigger at the very bottom of the points list after almost every single weekend.
Tough call. You're right. You know, we've been following up with Kristen ever since she joined the stadium circuit this season. Personally, I think she's done just fine. We all know what's going to eat at her. There's a lot of fans that expect her to have performed better. I'm just saying, we're going to come out with a video here pretty soon that kind of puts that into perspective. But Adam and Ryan, they weren't superstars. You know, the first season they were in a truck. You know, they weren't winning tours right out of the gate, and they weren't Gravedigger either.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure on her shoulders to go out there and just kill it. And she's still learning. She's only got a couple years under her belt, and she's still learning all of it.
But from a young fan's point of view, they just want to see Gravedigger dominate. So it's been really hard on the younger fans of Monster Jam, Austin.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because I'll be honest, I grew up when, like, my era, like where I grew up, it was always Gravedigger winning everything way back in the early 2000s. And I was a Gravedigger fan until I kind of was old enough to realize, oh, there's a lot more to this industry than just Gravedigger and Maximum Destruction, and really kind of branch out. And then you kind of grow to, like, you know, really not care for the trucks that seem to dominate, and you always want to root for the underdogs. And I do believe that Kristen is very much an underdog, but it also, like you guys were just saying, it's just a lot of pressure to have such a household name. And this is like, what would we say, her third or fourth season out actually driving?
Yeah.
But she continues to get better. If you look at her points where she's competed a full season, she really does get better. She's went from, I think, maybe 6th to 5th to 4th, you know, 3 years in a row consecutively, just getting better, bumping up a spot. So as Matt Cummings said on one of our first episodes, maybe in a year or two from now, she's a Arena Tour champion, and she's headed straight to the World Finals. You put her right on a stacked stadium tour with the best drivers at Monster Jam. Yeah, it's going to be hard to stay off the bottom. She's learning her place on the stadium tour. She's getting better. When we watched her in Arlington, honestly, I was really impressed with her throttle rhythm, with her freestyle flow. She had great momentum. She was missing the wow factors, okay? And she will get there when she gets more comfortable in that Butler seat on the stadium tour. Now, changing gears a little bit. Last week, we kind of scratched the surface on a new business. I don't know if it's a new business or if it's been going around for a year or so, but there is a brand called TK Metalworks up there in Tonganoxie, Kansas. That is the wrong video. We're not going to play that video. All right, here we go. Tonganoxie, Kansas. What is TK Metalworks? TK Metalworks is a CNC plasma cutting, welding, and custom fabrication shop based out of Tonganoxie, Kansas. Right here, you're seeing them make some aluminum ramps for monster truck trailers where they load the monster truck tires on toter tires. Monster trucks on toter tires, sorry. Put them in the monster truck trailers. And you're seeing Nitro Menace from, I think that's Nitro Menace, from the Mingus team, hit one of those custom ramps that they are making for Cretan shows. So you see their guys working on one of those custom-made ramps right now. It almost looks like one of the logs you see in the arena tours. But they could potentially change the game as the way ramps are being made in arenas and stadiums, Austin.
Honestly, this is a very smart approach considering, you know, when you watch freestyle, like when the first truck goes out, it is, regardless of which type of series you watch, whether it's an independent or Monster Jam, when the first truck goes out, you know, they have fresh obstacles of everything, fresh jumps, fresh cars, fresh, literally everything. Yeah. So when you have, whether you have 5 trucks, whether you have 8 trucks, or whether you have 16 trucks, eventually that course is going to dwindle down to where, you know, the obstacles aren't going to hold up. So seeing that someone's trying to make universal ramps for competition, that's a very smart approach to try and keep all the obstacles fair and even for everybody else out back.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. TK Metalworks also, if you saw the end of that clip, they make custom collapsible fireplaces made out of 3/16 steel, last forever. Make sure you check them out. TK Metalworks on both Instagram and Facebook. They're changing the game in the way ramps are made in monster trucks. They can make anything custom made for you as well. TK Metalworks out of Taga, Noxie, Kansas. Moving forward, we've got Vegas about to be open 100%. It's about time. But that means the SEMA Show will be returning this year in, I believe it's November.
Mhm.
What a huge sigh of relief it was for me to see that yesterday popping back up on my news feed that the SEMA Show is going to be back after almost a 2-year absence.
Dude, that is, I mean, honestly, that is one of the things that I wish I would have gotten the chance to go to, because Monster Jam I think it's like every other year they would send 1 or 2 trucks out with BKT, and I think they did a Gravedigger every now and then. But just being able to send trucks out to debut different products, but hey, you're not going to see a Monster Jam truck in a Lucas Oil booth, that's for sure. But yeah, just seeing the builds. I mean, here's the thing. I follow some of these guys that go to the SEMA shows, and there's
this clip right here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think 2010 was the year, and he is just chit-chatting away about Bigfoot having the Chevrolet Major League Baseball All-Star paint scheme on the truck. It's right outside. If you're lucky enough to find that clip, just watch it. You won't regret it.
Oh my gosh. So was he wearing his Nike New Balances and his cutoff jean shorts and everything?
I'm confused as to why he was wearing damn sunglasses inside. If somebody could please tell me what his thinking was in that.
But no, there's a couple of videos you could watch on YouTube where it's you see these SEMA built truck or cars and trucks where they look good, but you get up close and you see that it looks like someone took a hot glue gun to some of these welds on some of these truck lift kits, and it's kind of like what we do in Monster Jam. It's like, as long as it looks good from 40 feet, sender. And they do this at like the world's biggest car show.
Well, I remember when we were at Monster Jam and they were sending some stuff out, like the Bro Dozer. I think they sent a BKT truck. It was supposed to be a new chassis or something like that. I didn't realize that some people could just stick some stuff together. Not dogging anybody who worked on any of those trucks, but my point is, a lot of that stuff you see at the SEMA Show is rushed. A lot of times it's not 110%, but it doesn't change the fact that SEMA is badass. I'm glad it's coming back.
Mm,
and we were talking about the about Mr. Hot Rod there for a second. Let's talk about what Hot Rod did today in the world. Looks like he and my brother Cameron got themselves some new rides. Looks like Pops bought him a Bumblebee and Cameron got him a candy apple red Mustang.
Are they both V6s?
It might be.
That is, wow. Hot Rod's missing 2 cylinders, Tweety.
What'd you say, Austin?
I said Hot Rod's missing 2 cylinders if it's a V6.
Hey, he'll fix that at some point. I think the deal, he got a smoking deal on it, couldn't pass it up. So wait to see what he's going to do with it. I think is really the purpose in all of that.
Make sure we keep your brother Cameron away from any car shows with that Mustang.
People love Hot Rod. Check it out. People wait and see him come back to Bigfoot. I hope it happens sooner rather than later. Who knows? Saw Bigfoot putting an ad out today. You sent it to me, Austin. Bigfoot's looking for a crew guy. And Harley, you said they already took it down. Is that right?
No, it's still up there.
Oh, it's still up?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't hire somebody already.
But yeah, if you have any past experience in monster trucks with a Class A CDL and it comes with benefits, vacation, and plenty of travel, get a hold of Bigfoot. You might be able to get yourself a job out there.
Hey, teams are hiring.
Mm-hmm. Teams
so
are hiring.
we're talking about changing gears a little bit. But earlier we were discussing drivers coming back. Bree Mahone's coming back. Ty England's coming back. Somebody who was supposed to come back to the St. Louis show is Cynthia Gottier. Harley had mentioned yesterday she didn't see Cynthia's name on the St. Louis lineup. So is she not going to be at the show now?
Yeah,
I think it has
a Monster Jam website and it says TBA. So I'm pretty sure I remember seeing her name there, a few weeks ago when everyone was speculating that she was going to be debuting in St. Louis. And I checked back and her name's not there anymore. And if you go on her social media, she has nothing posted that she's going to be coming back or going to be in St. Louis at all.
Man, that's disappointing because Cynthia, one, she's a sweetheart. She is such a nice, down to earth person. I'm not just saying that. Like, she is honestly like a extremely nice, person outside of driving a monster truck. But she's extremely talented behind the wheel as well. I mean, I'm not going to kiss up because of the whole, what she call it, the French kiss at All-Star, and completely annihilated that truck.
I like to call it death wish.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think Cheech put it down there as well. Traveling rules, you won't be able to see a lot of people that are from Canada be able to compete. So Cynthia and Cheech just put it out there that Mikey Jr., Vaughters Jr. won't be able to compete either because of traveling regulations in Canada.
I see. Mr. Crush This is basically saying the same thing right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very unfortunate, but hey, I'd like to see her come back in the seat. I'd like this whole pandemic crap to be done and over with. I think I speak for everybody when it comes to that. I'm done with them. I'm tired of the masks. I'm tired of the regulations. I'm tired of, keep your distance, because sometimes I just don't like people regardless, but just let's just get this done and over with, and let's go back to normal. Let's go back to, monster trucks the way they used to be and have fun. I mean, hell, bring back pit party, for the love of God, like actual pit party.
Why can't we? Huh? We're 100% open in Texas. Why can't we do that?
Not a fan. Not a fan.
So what can we look forward to going into this weekend? Austin, you got a list of shows that are happening this weekend.
Yeah, it's a couple. I had to get my little notebook out because I actually, thank you, Facebook. So this weekend, Friday the 30th, if anybody is near or close to Dixon, Tennessee, the All-Star Monster Truck Tour will be there. The lineup consists of two of the probably best up-and-coming drivers, which would be Wildside and Terminal Velocity will be facing off against each other at the All-Star Tour. And then you've got
in the industry, I promise.
100%, man. And then you got Quad Chaos and Dirt Crew, followed by Twisted Addiction. So a 5-truck show, but that's still a pretty stacked lineup for a small independent show. Moving on to it's called Extreme Spring Nationals in Pooler, Georgia. I would have the racetrack name, but I did not know how to pronounce it. Saturday and Sunday, the 1st and the 2nd, the lineup consists of Get Her Done, Crazy Train, Wolf's Head, Raising Cane, Get Her Done 2, Plain Crazy, Dysfunctional, and the Mighty Monster Bus Ride Truck will be there as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, close to you guys, I think it's like in your backyard, also the 1st and 2nd, No Limits Monster Trucks will be in Denton, Texas, with a lineup consisting of Bounty Hunter, Scarlet Bandit, the brand new Thrillbilly, and Redneck Rampage, along with Psychotic. And then Jimmy Cretan will be bringing 2 of his own ride trucks, being Redneck Road Trip and Knucklehead.
Now, I think it's exciting to see Jimmy and Dawn at an independent show that's not their own. You normally don't see that a lot. I don't know how he's going to run this weekend, if he's going to step it up, if he's just going to, go with the flow. I don't know, but I am pumped to go and see that show this weekend. Right about now, we got all the crew guys are getting the trucks and the trailers, and they're headed out to their shows. They're going to be burning the midnight oil, grabbing them a Monster Energy or a Bang Energy or Red Bull, whatever they got to do to burn the midnight oil to get to their destination. It's always Wednesday or Thursday typically when crews are headed out. But this weekend, there may not be a Monster Jam show, but the independents have been keeping this industry moving since COVID has taken over. So don't sleep on the independents. A lot of big things are happening in the independent world, Austin.
And it's only going to get better from here. Seeing Denver checking in, he kind of gave us a little sneak peek at what's going on with the Venom camp. Denver, when are you guys going to be bringing the trucks up here to Michigan again, other than my wedding? I'd like to see you guys at least one more time.
And shout out to everybody watching tonight. This has been fun thus far, but hey, we're going into the weekend. We're halfway through there. We hit hump day. We're almost over the hump and into the weekend, and we're going to be in nothing but monster truck world where life is great and we don't have to worry about work. So buckle down, everybody. Strap in.
Oh, hold on a second. Indie Monster just recently posted in the chat. Denton lineup has changed. Bounty Hunter, Scarlet Bandit, Jekyll and Hyde, Iron Outlaw.
I told you that.
Wow.
Freaking told you.
So an all Cretan show.
That's going to be entertaining.
All right.
I'm ready.
I'm not going to say who I talked to this week. But I talked to somebody who knows those guys. Okay. Let's just say that. Obviously, those trucks weren't supposed to be there. So Jekyll and Hyde, they have been running on fumes, busting their asses, that team, that crew, week in, week out, and they were supposed to get a break this weekend. Now look at them on another show. So they're going to be running on fumes this weekend. It could make the show a little more competitive with the boss and his team. They're going to be going head to head. I don't know, Austin.
Oh man, I mean, don't get me wrong. The Cretan camp always puts on a good show, but man, I feel bad for those guys. I got to see one of those shows, the Michigan Indiana borderline show. It was like out in the middle of nowhere, and Jekyll and Hyde still put on a pretty good show. But I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like those are the trucks that out of all the independents that were there only put on a good show. So hopefully those guys after this weekend get a well-deserved break, because they definitely need it.
And also supposedly the Sunday show not added 100%. This is a no limits show, which is Beckley production, if I'm not mistaken on that. Don't throw shade at me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's who runs the show over there. Harley, what's going on with Joey Sylvester out there in Vegas?
Well, it looks like on their social media through the company Speed Vegas, who's putting on this monster truck experience, that they're taking bookings now for the Nightmare Express. I'm just going to say how much it is. It's $1,295, but Speed Vegas does supply all your safety gear, which is your fire suit, your helmet, and everything else you need to experience that.
I mean, truth be told, if you're going for the ride of a lifetime, it's essentially priceless though anyways, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you're in Vegas, you're already spending money. You might hit, the jackpot and go out and ride monster truck.
Yeah, hey, go win some money and go spend it out there. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I'm going to spend that kind of money and I'm going to go ride a monster truck, my ass is going to North Carolina. Just saying. I'm going to ride in King Sling.
And we did see some news on King Sling recently, right?
I believe it's finished, isn't it?
It is done. There was a video recently posted out there on Instagram of it exiting the shop and being loaded up into a trailer.
This is huge. So you think those two teams, they're going to be competing against each other? You think they're going to keep their prices competitive, or do you think Dennis is going to be so much more than Joey's? Or what if Dennis's prices are even cheaper? What if Dennis's is like $500 a person?
That's a good question. But I mean, regardless, I think you get more bang for your buck riding around with Dennis, because I got to see a brief 3D animation of what the course layout was supposed to be. And it looks like a stadium floor layout, while out in Speed Vegas, I saw a good friend of mine, Troy. He posted some videos while he was out there riding in the back of Mayhem. They just go around the Lucas Oil off-road track, where all the competitive stadium trucks used to race. So they don't have a set course for monster trucks, at least to my knowledge. They don't have one. So I don't know. There might be something different in the near future for Joey and Nightmare Express and Mayhem.
So Harley Joe, why don't you tell everybody who's watching why this is so important?
That is important because that is going to be in our giveaway that we're doing very soon. That is not going to be the only thing in our giveaway. That and also a signed El Toro monster truck. It was signed by Becky McDonough. And we really want to put out this giveaway for all. We're only 12 subscribers away from 100 on YouTube. So once we reach that 100 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to do this giveaway. And also in that giveaway is a $25 Visa gift card that you can spend on anything.
That's the third item right there. You got 3 items in our very first giveaway. We're doing that once our subscribers on YouTube has reached 100 followers. Remember, giveaway activated at 100 followers. So if we're doing all this at 100 followers, what are we going to do next for our next giveaway? It's going to be even bigger, this one.
Even bigger.
So don't sleep on us. This is going to be a fun giveaway to be a part of. Make sure you subscribe to all of our social media pages, but especially YouTube. And here very soon, maybe within the next week, maybe next 2 weeks, we're going to give the rules on how you enter our giveaway contest. And then I see real quick, Daniel Cheech, hey gosh, if anyone around the Dallas, Texas area, Gun Barrel, Texas anyways, there's going to be a Ramunition, Ramunition is going to be crushing some cars. Harley and my daughter and myself went and checked that out last week, and it's a really great time. If you need a monster truck fix and you live in the Texas, Dallas area, come up to Gun Barrel and hang out with Cheech this weekend. Well, that damn near wraps up our energy for this evening, unless, Austin, you got something else.
Nah, man. I mean, I know Denver made a comment saying it's cold up north, dude. It has been like 85 for the past couple of days up here. I've had to sleep practically naked. So anyway, enough about that. I do not like the heat. I do not miss it at all, but warmer weather does mean more monster trucks. So looking forward to the summer.
And one thing I got to plug in here real quick at the end, my brother Cameron commented, he's the one who got the candy apple red Mustang. We were talking about that earlier. Bigfoot, you're letting your shop guy drive your monster trucks up there. Why don't you bring back the good guys? Bring back Hot Rod, put him in a seat, give him more, whether it's a car crusher display or something. Get that guy back in the shop.
Not biased at all.
Not even a little bit. Well, hey, for all of us at the Throttle Out Show, we just want to thank you for tuning in. It means so much to us, each and every one of you who have stayed just chugging along with us tonight. We got new viewers coming in. Thank you so much. Remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out.
Peace out.